Okay guys, welcome back to Forensic Detailing channel. In this video we're going to be showing the compounding and polishing footage of our M3 paint correction video.
Is that alright? Yeah. If you don't shoot it, how am I supposed to hold it? Is that alright? Yeah. Or give my gun away when it's unloaded. Is that alright? Is that alright with you? Is that alright? Yeah. Give my gun away. Is that alright?
Okay guys, so here's a quick thing on the Rotary. If you're doing this for the first time, right, first thing is when you're laying out your product, there's much more tendency for this stuff to splatter everywhere, okay? So just whatever your target area is, and keep it small when you're first using it. Work that product, yeah, at the slowest possible speed, and even half trigger when you're starting, okay? And just work the product into the paint so it's a proper film, okay? Any product that's around the edge of the pad, when you crank up the speed, is just going to go flying. So that's the first difference, okay? Work it in. So I'm just working at low speed. So get that really good film, okay, that's important. So that's probably the first thing that's going to happen. You will sling some stuff, but you're trying to minimise it. So get yourself a good film. Then when that film is laid down, okay, you move the Rotary up to your running speed that you're going to use. So if you're using this for the first time, set your maximum running speed to 1000, okay, especially when you're using compounds. When you're polishing, it's not so much of an issue. Now Skull on it, or Shoal on their bottle, say run these at between 1500 to 2000 RPM. 2000 is way too fast for me, especially when you're using a compound. 1500 would be fine when you're polishing, although you might want to consider going a little bit slower than that. At 1500 with an aggressive compound, you need to be careful when you're running that speed because you can do some damage. So I suggest if you're compounding or polishing, start when you're working closer to 1000 first and just observe what's going on with your paintwork, okay? That's important, very important. The first thing in terms of operating this, so I'm going to put this up to a reasonably high speed where it's a little bit harder to handle. So we're at 1400 RPM, okay? So the first thing to say with this thing is it's all about keeping the machine level. If the machine isn't level, you're going to get pushed and pulled all over the place, okay? So I've got the machine level now, I can fill it on the clear coat, and I'm just going to start it up. Okay, so I've got polish on this, a finishing polish. I'm not going to be doing any burning of paint or anything like that. Okay, so that's the most important thing. When you're starting, it's all about keeping the machine level. If the machine isn't level, it's either going to push towards you or it's going to pull away from you or go off to the side, and you're going to be fighting against this. So don't hold the machine really hard. Just let the machine sit level, and then you just use your hands to maintain that level, okay? Okay, that's the first thing. So once you get happy with keeping the machine level with nice loose hands, then you can start working your product. So just make sure you're in a good balanced position so that you can actually move the machine around your target area, and then just like your DA, you turn the thing on and start operating it. And that is a basic technique to get you going. Same with the DA, never fire this machine up unless you're cleaning it when it's not on the clear coat, okay, because you're going to splatter even more with this. If this is your only tool, because you can pick these rotaries up dirt cheap and you're starting out with this, keep your speed down, okay. Just work the product really slowly and see how quickly you're getting the correction. You know, when you're polishing, it's less important. Everyone's got different methods with polishing. I just find, again, the most important thing is to let the machine work the product. You don't, if you're going to use high speeds, you want to keep your arm movement higher. The lower the speed is, you can then start slowing your arm movement down to a similar technique. But at 14 or 1500 RPMs, you want to keep a reasonably good arm movement.
Useless because you haven't got enough children to level 6 as it used to be, and you just go and you go, right, okay, well, you have to shut it out. And that's why teachers now, we don't strike as much, because quite frankly there's no point. It doesn't work. Nothing works. Nothing works. Your pay gets cut, you don't get pay rises, paperwork increases, and the poor children, we are in this country, we have such a good education system, but we're churning out children who are nervous wrecks because all we're doing is over-assessing them. And this is what's going to happen to the NHS. I wish it didn't. That's why I support the doctors 100%, but I just can't see how it's going to work. I wish it did. I wish there was a government. I wish there was an like.
But if they can do it to the teachers, why on earth would they not?
Yeah.
Throw those elbows on the chair. Shelter from the storm. wiper and wings. So they're effectively ready for the final stage of jewelling, which we're going to do later on. I've done a set of compounding and polishing on the roof and the A-pillars and the wing mirrors, okay, down to here. So we're working our way down the car. The next thing I get to do when I get some time is compound the rear tailgate and then polish the rear tailgate and the rear bumper. Then once I've done that, I basically just have to compound and polish both doors and both rear quarters, which is a bit of a weird way to break it down. Just the way that I've done it, in little bits. I've been doing most of it on the Rotary. I actually moved over to doing the polishing with the Rotary because you can work the product a little bit harder, you know, a little bit faster, the polish. So I just wanted to see how the S40 was on the Rotary, and it's great. So I've been using really the Rotary to do everything. Been using the compact Rotary every now and then to do the sort of narrow gap pieces. What I can say is the paintwork's coming up really nice, and the car's going to look lovely when it's done, and it's worth this time, you know, investment of time. It's worth it because it was in a real bad shape actually, but the level of damage that's in here, it's like you're peeling away layers of the clear coat, you know, like peeling an onion, but unfortunately the bottom levels of the clear coat have still got, there were so many scratches, even the bottom lower levels of it have still got scratches in there. There are scratches that won't come out basically, and you'd have to shave too much clear coat off. So we've done quite a lot of paint correction. Car's going to look good, but the reality is there are still micro scratches all over this paintwork, unfortunately. You know, I say all over, here and there. The car's still going to look fantastic. So yeah, there are, the one thing with doing this type of work, there are limitations. When you're machine polishing a car that's, what are we with this, 16 years old, some of the paintwork, and that paintwork, you know, shows signs like I showed you of being, you know, being covered in micro scratches. I mean, machine polishing is really highly effective, but there are limitations, and the limitations with this level of damage is we're only really going to see about 90% of correction there. If the paintwork is a bit newer and there's less kind of damage, then you know you can get a high level of correction, but we will be 90% correction roughly with this, depending on the panel, and then we'll be spending lots of time on that refinement. So even though there will still be micro scratches present in this clear coat, the overall appearance of the car will be, hopefully, well, it will be transformed. It will be, the paintwork's going to be popping and looking really nice when it's all done. So yeah, a little bit more work, and we'll keep going and get it done in stages. I wasn't able to do it. I wanted to spend like a good day, a proper day on it, you know, on Saturday and Sunday. I couldn't do it on Saturday, and I've only had a couple of hours to do it on Sunday afternoon. So I'm doing this in little dribs and drabs when the missus lets me, or during the week, maybe later on, you know, if I get the odd hour there. So it will get done. We're making progress. Oh, one other thing that's really important to talk about when using the Rotary, splatter, okay? Now, you can be the world's best Rotary polisher and been doing this all your life. You will still splatter when you use a Rotary, a little bit, okay? The key to not splattering is not using too much product. If you use too much product and you overfill the pad with product, as soon as you compress that pad or it catches, it flings, or it hits a little puddle of product, it flings it, especially at higher speeds. So with the Rotary, it's really important. The flip side is you're trying to use the Rotary to get over the car quicker, but if you rush, you can end up making more mess, you know, and in your work being less effective. So you still try and stick to those rules that are in my other polishing videos about laying the product out. But when you're working with a rotary, don't use too much product. Make sure it's a really thin film over that car. And sometimes it's just good to work it a little bit longer with 600 to make sure that film is nice and flat and smooth and you've got no little build-ups, because when you crank up that speed, like I say, if you hit anything or you compress or there's too much product, you'll fling everywhere. Now I'll be lying to you if I said I hadn't slung a fair amount of product around today. And what I tend to do, if I do sling, I'll try and get it there and then, because if you just let it go everywhere, it'll dry onto the paintwork and be a nightmare. If you're not going to get it there and then, because you know you're going to be doing another section, there's a chance you'll be slinging again, so be wiping off and then slinging. It's always good just to give it maybe a squirt of IPA mix, the weak IPA water mix, just so that product doesn't dry on your car, and then hit it afterwards when you finish the set, you know. So yeah, slinging is definitely a problem when you're using a rotary, and it's something you want to try and minimise, okay? So you probably won't really be able to see, but I can see that the paintwork has come back to life a little bit, okay? It's just got a bit more, there's still a bit of product on there. I need to wipe it all down properly. I'll do that when I finish my when I've done the polishing pass. But the product is just getting some of its gloss back. So yeah, I need to give it a bit of a better wipe around here. Okay, so we're just going to get in focus here. Let me play around with this. Where are we? I want to be in focus on the clear coat of the car. Is that doing it, or is that the... Oh, hold on a second. There it is. So suddenly when you change the focus, look, if I do that, you're just seeing reflection. The paintwork looks flawless. If I just edge that up a bit, there you go. We're now in focus on the clear coat. So what you can see is most of that swirl damage, most of it, so there's a fine scratch there right by the light in the middle, but most of it has come out, okay? Now if I go around this entire car, the level of scratching we had in this car, I will be able to find scratches and show them to you, okay? And we'll do that. But we've taken about as much clear coat off the car as we can, okay? To this sort of level where you can see just right there, look, you've still got these little, see at the tip of my finger? You've still got these little micro scratches and stuff.
supercharged tree. Private island.
Okay guys, so we finished our first day of polishing. We've compounded the bonnet wing and we polished the bonnet wing and bumper. The bumper didn't need compounding. Mixed up a little bit. Did most of the, well, did all of the compounding with the Rotary. Did some of the polishing with the 3401. Some of it with the Rotary. What's to say, we've got some good results. There was a thick amount of damage in this car and I haven't been able to get it all out, and it's not possible to get it all out. Fortunately, I'd say about 90% we managed to get out. There was such a heavy concentration of scratches and swirls. This was, there's only, you know, you can't take paint that's that bad and that old and just make it flawless. You can't do it, there's limitations unfortunately. So I'll show you some of the scratches and stuff that are still in there. But we have taken a hell of a ton, it's been hard work actually, taken a ton of damage out, and the car's now starting to get that nice gloss back. So all that remains is to do the jewelling stage on the car, and we'll do that at the end. But it's starting to really look nice and get that crystalline kind of coating over the top of it. So far so good. Got a lot of stuff to wash up and gone through quite a lot of pads, so I'll just show you. So there's water in here just to keep stop the product from drying in. This lot. So we're going to carry on tomorrow.